Forget your wedding. What good will it bring us? My mother said it first. Bethany needs us. My father nodded like a judge. We're still helping your sister. I swallowed the yes I was trained to give. Since we helped you, Dad added at dinner. Hand the house to your sister. She's the real family, Mom breathed, pleased with herself. I need this house, Bethany whispered, already measuring rooms. I'd invited them after Derek's parents funded everything. They also gifted us a home in Meadowbrook Hills. 4 bedrooms, windows full of sky. I'm Emma Morrison, residential architect, the daughter who was never the priority. When I said no, my mother slapped me. Before the sting cooled, my father shoved me outside. The house belongs to Bethany, he declared. Have you faced this kind of love? Tell me in the comments. They didn't want my joy. They wanted the deed. Growing up as the second Morrison daughter meant learning how to disappear politely. Bethany was 3 years older, blonde, radiant, and apparently born to be adored. She got piano lessons. I got a hand-me-down recorder and a shrug. When she turned 16, she got a car. I got a birthday card with $20 inside. Dad said, we can't play favorites. But favorites were all they ever played. College? They paid for her theater degree. I got spreadsheets explaining why community college was the smarter path. I worked 3 jobs to transfer to a university. Graduated with honors. They didn't come to the ceremony. Mom said, it's too far. They drove 6 hours the next weekend for Bethany's regional fashion show. By the time I met Derek, I'd stopped expecting anything from them. Approval, affection, even acknowledgement. All optional. Derek's parents, Margaret and Thomas Chen, were the opposite of everything I'd known. They remembered details, asked about my work, listened. When Derek proposed, I called my parents, voice shaking with hope. That's nice, honey, Mom said flatly. We're busy helping Bethany choose venues. I sat there, ring in sunlight, listening to the echo of indifference. Every childhood memory sharpened that moment. Each time I was told to wait, each birthday skipped, each small triumph ignored. I realized love in our house wasn't unconditional. It was transactional. Bethany was the investment. I was the expense. So when they said, forget your wedding, it wasn't new. It was confirmation. But pain has a way of planting resolve. And this time, I decided not to beg for scraps. In our house, love wore Bethany's name tag. After that call, something inside me shut off. Not in anger, in survival. I stopped reaching out first. Stopped trying to make them proud. Silence became self-defense. Derek's parents filled the quiet my own family left behind. Margaret insisted on hosting our engagement dinner. Thomas gave a toast that ended with, Emma, welcome home. I nearly cried at the word home. Planning the wedding felt like walking 2 timelines. One filled with warmth, one with ghosts. When I told Mom about the date, she said, hope it doesn't overlap Bethany's events. Not congratulations, just logistics. I tried one last time to include them. Lunch downtown, a binder of color palettes and venue plans. I thought maybe organization could earn affection. Bethany arrived 20 minutes late, complaining about traffic and her followers dropping. Dad cut into his steak mid-sentence. We're stretched thin, honey. Beth's wedding takes priority. I'm not asking for money, I said. Just your support. Mom sighed. What good will it bring us? Bethany smirked over her phone. Your wedding isn't even exciting, Emma. No offense. Offense taken. Deeply. Quietly. I paid the bill myself. They didn't offer. That night, I called Derek, voice trembling with a grief I couldn't name. He listened, then said, Come over. My parents want to talk. At the Chen house, Margaret hugged me so tightly, I forgot how to breathe. Thomas set down his tea. Emma, we'd like to fund your wedding, he said, fully, however you envision it. I burst into tears. Then Derek added softly, There's something else. My parents want to gift us a home. For a moment, I couldn't speak. A house. In Meadowbrook Hills. 4 bedrooms, stone-and-cedar, backing onto a nature preserve. Thomas smiled. You deserve to live in peace. I thought about my father's spreadsheets, my mother's sighs, Bethany's sneer, all the ways they'd measured my worth and convenience. Here, love wasn't a transaction. It was a gift, freely given. But still, a small voice whispered, What if it vanishes too? That night, I sat by my drafting table, sketching a sunlit house. Not for work. For me, the lines came steady, peaceful. Walls built from trust. Windows wide enough for joy. No locks, no alarms. I smiled through the quiet. Maybe this was what safety felt like. Margaret placed a velvet box in my hand. Inside, a pearl bracelet with a jade clasp. Family tradition, she said. Wear it on your wedding day. I wore it every day after that. Every glance reminded me I was loved, even without earning it. If care was real, why did it have conditions? The wedding day was flawless. Sunlight spilled through the garden like it was rooting for us. Derek cried when he saw me walk down the aisle. I thought, maybe this is what peace feels like. Until dinner, my parents arrived 30 minutes late. Bethany wore white, of course. They smiled too wide, like people pretending not to be jealous. During cocktail hour, Bethany said suddenly, "We should stop by your new house. I want to see it." Her tone made it sound like an inspection. Against my better judgment, I agreed. 15 minutes later, a black car pulled up to Meadowbrook Hills. Sunlight hit the stone facade like gold. I felt proud until I saw their faces. Bethany's smile froze. "This is yours?" Derek nodded. "A gift from my parents." Silence stretched. Then Bethany's voice turned sharp. "My wedding is coming up. I need this house." I blinked. "Excuse me?" "You heard me. It's perfect for Marcus and me." Mom nodded instantly. "Yes, honey. Anything for you." Something inside me snapped. "This is our home," I said. "Not available." Dad sighed like I was being unreasonable. "Don't be selfish, Emma. Family helps family." Back at the hotel, I was fixing my lipstick when they barged into the bridal suite uninvited. Bethany followed, eyes blazing. "We need to talk," Dad said. "Can it wait until after dinner?" "No, since we helped you with this wedding. We'd like you to hand over the house to your sister." I turned slowly from the mirror. "You helped me?" "You owe us," Mom hissed. "Bethany's always been the real family." My laugh came out cold. "You didn't contribute a single dollar. You just showed up, and even that felt like charity." Mom's face twisted. "After everything we did for you, raising you, feeding you, you mean the bare minimum required by law?" I shot back. That's when she slapped me. The sound cracked through the room like lightning. Before I could react, Dad grabbed my arm and shoved me outside. "The house belongs to Bethany," he barked. Guests froze. Phones lifted. People recorded. Bethany stood in the doorway, arms crossed like she'd won. Then Thomas appeared behind her. "Emma," he said calmly, "should I explain the ownership clause?" I smiled through the sting on my cheek. "Please do." Thomas faced my parents. "The house is held in the Chen family trust. Emma and Derek have lifetime residence rights, but they can't sell, gift, or transfer it. If anyone tries to pressure them, ownership reverts back to us immediately." Bethany's smile died. Mom whispered, "There must be another way." "There isn't," Thomas said, eyes like ice. "And after what I just witnessed, you'll never set foot on that property again." They came for my house. They left without their dignity. Security arrived before I even caught my breath. Margaret's voice cut through the chaos. "Escort them out." Dad puffed up, trying to sound in control. "You can't throw us out. We're family." Margaret stepped forward. "You're trespassers now." Her tone could have frozen fire. 2 guards guided them toward the side exit. Bethany twisted in their grip. "You tricked us!" she screamed. I looked her dead in the eye. "I just got married, Beth. You started a war I didn't invite." The ballroom went quiet when I walked back in. Guests pretended to eat, pretending they hadn't seen. But half the room already knew. By midnight, so did the internet. Someone had posted the hallway video. My mother's slap. My father's shove. Bethany's demand for the house. It spread faster than wedding confetti. Bethany's influencer account exploded. Not in followers, but backlash. Comments tore through her polished captions. Entitled "Sister Steals Bride's House." Family drama, live edition. Her sponsors dropped her within days. Vendors withdrew from her wedding. The fairy tale collapsed in real time. Mom called first. Then Dad. Then Aunt Denise. All blocked. They showed up at the house twice. The gate camera caught Mom yelling, "Emma, we can fix this." I turned the footage over to security. Thomas called his lawyer the next morning. Within 48 hours, a no-contact order was in place. I didn't cry. Didn't rage. Didn't even flinch. I just exhaled. Bethany's wedding happened 4 months later. A cousin sent me photos. Community center. Folding chairs. Off-the-rack dress that didn't fit right. She smiled like she wasn't breaking. People whispered that I'd won. But it never felt like winning. It felt like finally dropping a weight I'd carried since childhood. The Chen family protected me fiercely. Margaret said, "You don't owe them forgiveness. Thomas added. Boundaries aren't cruelty. They're clarity. I believed him. I returned to work, sharper than ever. Every blueprint I drew carried a hidden truth. You can build a life stronger than what broke you. The viral video faded, but my name didn't. Clients came, curious about the architect who stood up. I let them talk. I kept designing. At night, Derek and I ate dinner. On the balcony of the house they wanted. Deer sometimes wandered through the trees behind us. I'd watch them and whisper to the wind, "Let peace stay this time." Bethany sent a message months later. "I'm sorry. I read it once, then deleted it." Some apologies are just nostalgia for control. A year passed before I opened their last letter. It wasn't an apology, just a Christmas card. Thinking of you, signed in blue ink. No accountability, no change. I tucked it into a drawer with the others. Not out of bitterness, just closure. By then, my life was unrecognizable. I'd made partner at my firm. Designed homes that carried laughter, not ghosts. Derek and I filled ours with light and quiet rituals. Sunday pancakes, morning walks. Shared silence that felt like safety. Margaret still called me sweetheart. Thomas still said, "We're proud of you." Words my parents never learned how to mean. Sometimes I'd think about Bethany. Her failed brand, her silence. The way she once believed everything was hers by default. I didn't hate her anymore. I just stopped needing her to understand. Healing didn't come with fireworks. It came with normal days. Making coffee, drafting blueprints, hearing Derek hum off-key in the kitchen. It came from realizing peace isn't loud. It's steady. When I became pregnant, the first person I told wasn't my mother. It was Margaret. She cried, and I cried with her. Our daughter, Clara, was born on a spring morning. Tiny, fierce, and whole. As I held her, I thought, this is how it should have been all along. Love without demand. Care without debt. Mom never met her. Neither did Dad. And that was okay, because the family I lost was nothing compared to the one I built. If you've ever had to choose between peace and obligation, choose peace. You won't regret it. They raised a daughter who finally learned. Love doesn't owe them interest.